it's what's the date today? Today's Monday the 23rd of March 2020. As you can probably tell, I'm still in bed. I look an absolute mess at the moment. Obviously, we all know what's going on in the world right now. The world is scary. It's unknown, and we don't know what the future will be. Everything is up in the air, and our lives are changing at the moment. We don't know for how long. But I'm in a very special position, I guess. I'm a med student. I'm also a healthcare assistant. Over the weekend, I've been working on an infectious disease ward, so I've been truly at the front line. Officially, I've still got 1 week left of placement. I don't know how much we're actually going to be able to get done, because I'm on my psychiatry placement at the moment. It's a community psychiatry, and all sort of outpatient appointments are being done over the phone. And so it's quite hard for medical students to sit in and sort of participate and things like that. We have had an email from the uni saying that they will sign us off, or our consultants even will sign us off, and they're going to be relaxing the requirements for the block. But I don't know how much I'm actually going to be able to get done this week in terms of uni. But yeah, I thought I'd bring you along, just so you can see what is happening as a med student in this crazy time. Hey, so not been that productive of a morning, but that's kind of what I expected. So all community psychiatry outpatient appointments are being done over the phone, so clinic isn't that useful. We tried to track down our consultant, but the consultant isn't in. Also, we wanted to find out whether or not our twilight shift that we have tomorrow is still going ahead. As far as we can tell, it is. We're going to maybe email the doctor who is meant to be taking us under his wing tomorrow and see if he still wants us to come in. So today's not been that useful, but I have a plan at least for tomorrow. So I'm going to be doing a case-based discussion over the phone with my consultant tomorrow morning, and then I've got a twilight shift, so I think that's 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. tomorrow night, and it's not based on a specific ward, it's just sort of seeing what comes in, so we shall see what that's like. But yeah, I'm gonna go home and have some lunch and figure out, everything is so up in the air at the moment, which is understandable, but is also somewhat frustrating when I still need to get some sign-offs done and things like that. But yeah, it's actually a really lovely day today. It's quite warm, which is kind of nice, makes a change. So yeah, I'm gonna head home now. Hello. So today is Tuesday the 24th, I think, yeah. Today's Tuesday the 24th of March. It's about 20 to 3 in the afternoon, so quite a lot has happened today. So I'll give you a brief update as to what happened yesterday. So as I said, my consultant wasn't in, so when I came home I just sort of sorted out my flat and did some things. I was quite unsure as to what was going to be happening today. It turned out okay. So fast forward to this morning, I managed to get in touch with my consultant, who has virtually signed me off for this block. So he's completed my end of block form, because I've actually completed all but one of the criteria, which I'll get onto. So I've completed a case-based discussion, I've done 3 mini clinical examinations, I've done a reflection, which I need to email to him after I film this. I've done And I think that's it. Oh, and I filled in my portfolio workbook, so actually I can show it to you. It's just this thing, and it has lots of things about patients that we've seen, clinical cases and medication. So there's a therapeutics log, that's some of it there, as well as a weekly timetable which has been which I've written in showing what I've done for each of the weeks that we've had. So this has been filled in. So he was happy to sign me off. Now, I did mention that there was one thing I hadn't completed, which until about 5 minutes ago, I didn't have absolute confirmation what was going to happen. So this evening, originally, I was meant to be on a twilight shift from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. So like a late shift with one of the on-call doctors. And last night, so Monday, Boris Johnson announced that there were going to be stricter measures put in place so people could only leave the house for very, very specific reasons, to try and prevent the spread of coronavirus. So since that announcement last night, we weren't sure whether or not we were still expected to go and attend our twilight shift, because it's not absolutely essential. It is, after all, a learning opportunity. And of course, in an ideal world, we would still go. But given the current climate, it probably wouldn't be sensible. So myself and my clinical partner, we discussed this and we thought, you know what, probably shouldn't go, but let's make sure that it doesn't affect us later on down the line. So our consultant was happy to sign us off without us doing the shift, but we still hadn't had official word from the medical school. The sort of medical student administration lead for the psychiatry block, she emailed saying she agreed with our thoughts, saying that we probably shouldn't attend. But it was only about 10 minutes ago that the medical school actually emailed saying all of the specialist clinical placements are now ending today, which means, and they've said if you've done your sign-offs, great. If you've not, it doesn't matter. And because they've announced that, it means that we definitely don't need to go for our twilight shift. So that's good. So I have now finished my psychiatry block. I did earlier on this morning, I did my formative, so 50 multiple choice questions. So I did that this morning, that was fine. I've done my feedback, I've got my sign-offs done, so everything is fine medical school wise. We don't know what's going to happen. All we know that everything has been suspended from now on for at least 4 weeks, I think they said, or for at least the next block. We don't know, it's changing, as we all know, on a day-to-day basis. So there's that. This afternoon, there are a couple of things that I need to do. So as I said, I need to email my reflection to my consultant just for his records so that he can show that he's had it. The other thing I need to do is that I've actually got to go to the pharmacy and pick up some medication, because I want to do that sooner rather than later. Also means that I can go outside and get my daily fresh air for my, not that you can go out every day, but you're allowed to go out once a day for exercise. So me walking down to the pharmacy, which is also an essential activity, you can go out for essential like food shopping and other things such as medications and medical care, things like that. So I'm going to combine those two into one and go to the pharmacy. I need some flour, so I'm going to try and locate maybe some flour on my way home, but chances are I'm not going to be successful, which is fine. And then yeah, I'm going to come back. I want to hoover my flat, which is a very boring thing. And then I'm probably going to have a very late lunch / early dinner, because I had quite a late breakfast. So but I'm starting to get a bit peckish. So I'm gonna have something to eat when I get back. And then I think I need to come up with a plan for the rest of the week. So I need to decide. The medical school said they're going to release, along collaborating with other medical schools in the region, some jobs for medical students to help in the current situation. And they will be salaried and there'll be occupational health and it's all going to be very official. But obviously they're prioritising the current final year students who are due to start F1 in August. So they're doing that set of students first, and then it'll be my year, and then it'll be the year below. So we haven't received what jobs they're going to give out yet. So in the meantime, I can still pick up my healthcare assistant work shifts. I worked Saturday and Sunday this weekend, so I'm not too eager to rush straight back in, but if I can get one shift in maybe this week, then I'll be happy. Looking sort of more long term, if I can work 2, maybe 3 shifts a week, that would be fine for me. Either healthcare assistant role or whatever the med school offer. I'd prefer, I want to see what the med school are going to offer in terms of their jobs. I have a feeling I'll probably go for one of those. But in the meantime, I do want to keep going with healthcare assistant shifts because the NHS needs as much help as it can get at the moment. And whilst I am fit and healthy and able to work, I want to be able to do that. If I end up having to self-isolate or I'm symptomatic in the future, then of course I won't work and I will take the 7 days or 14 days off if they change it back to 14 days. But at the moment it's still 7 days because I don't live with anybody else. So I do want to keep working, but I feel like I need to get my life in order. Everything's been so up in the air for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. None of us have really known what's going on, if we're going into uni. But now that I'm done with my psychiatry block, I can kind of start to think about what my day-to-day schedule is going to look like. So yes, I'm gonna get going and I will catch up with you later. Hello, so quick update again. I had just left the house to go to the pharmacy when I realised that I still needed to return my PIT alarm, it's like a panic alarm for psychiatry, and my locker key. So I thought about it and I thought, you know what, they've emailed saying, I think it was at the end of last week, saying that they would quite like these back. So I'm going to run in. I drove to the hospital. I'm going to run and drop this off at the office, and then I'm going to go to the pharmacy. At least it's done and it's out the way and I don't need to worry about it. Kind of annoying, but you know what? It is what it is. And I got a nice drive. So probably not 100% essential, but better sooner rather than later. And I think they'll want these back within 3 months. So hopefully they'll appreciate me for coming to return it. Let's see. Hello, so today is Wednesday the 25th of March. It's currently 2:10 in the afternoon. So yesterday I managed to get to the pharmacy and I also managed to return my panic alarm and locker key. I also went to the shops because I realised I needed some bread and bleach and a couple of other things, so I did that all in the same trip. Today I've not left the house. I have no reason to leave the house. We're still in lockdown, so I've had a really nice breakfast and I'm currently now, I'm just on my laptop. I'm doing some prescribing e-learning through the uni, which is online. There are lots and lots of modules to do and I'm just working my way through those. I also want to finish going over a lecture. Once I've set myself 4 modules to get through today, which will probably take anything from an hour and a half to 2.5, maybe 3 hours for these modules. And I also want to go over one lecture. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to keep myself busy, trying to keep myself in some sort of a routine, and also trying to make sure I get some form of studying done every single day. Ideally, I'd also do some past medicine questions, but because I've sort of set myself 4 modules to do today, if I don't get to do past medicine because my brain is too tired, then I'm not too worried. So yeah, I've had lots of admin-y things to do this morning as well, which have now all done. Tomorrow one of the admin-y things I did was I booked a work shift this morning to work tomorrow at the radiology department at the hospital that I often work at in Coventry, or just outside of Coventry. So I've got that tomorrow. It's I think I'm working 8:30 till 5, so it's a decent length of shift, but doesn't start too early or finish too late, so that'll be quite nice. And it'll make a change. One good thing about working in a healthcare environment at this time is, although it's stressful and a different environment to be working in, at least I'm able to go out and work and help and sort of play my part in helping the NHS, I guess, because obviously the NHS needs help at the moment. So yeah, I'm working tomorrow, so that should be good. And yeah, I shall catch up with you later. Hello. So, update. Today is Friday the 27th of April. Right, so I didn't film at all yesterday. That's mainly because I was working. So I had a work shift yesterday in radiology at a hospital where I often work. That shift was perfectly fine. People have been describing COVID-19 as, at the moment in hospitals, it is the calm before the storm. That is 100%. So the majority of outpatient clinics have been cancelled. The only ones that I could tell that were still running were fracture clinics. That's from my point of view, working in the X-ray department. They were also still doing ultrasound appointments, but patients did have the opportunity to cancel if they so wished. But because of that, the X-ray department was actually relatively quiet yesterday, especially so in the afternoon. We had very, very few patients. There were quite a few query COVID-19 patients in A&E, and they don't come to the X-ray department. Radiographers, they actually bring a portable X-ray machine to majors or wherever they are to do a chest X-ray to see if they do have the signs of COVID-19 on their chest X-ray. After work, I came home and I actually wasn't feeling too great. I was feeling headachy. My body was just generally a bit achy, and I felt like I had a bit of a cold. I took my temperature and I actually had a fever. So it was, yeah, so that happened. So I just basically had a very, very chilled evening. I watched a movie on Netflix, but I was in bed by like 8 p.m. I got 11 hours sleep. It was amazing. And today I actually feel so much better. I don't have a temperature anymore. My temperature's come down. So I don't actually think I've got COVID-19. Touch wood. I've got a table in front of me. But I am self-isolating for a week just in case. I also don't have a dry cough. I have a very chesty cough at the moment, but it's on and off. And I feel absolutely fine in myself. No more headache, no body aches or anything. I've been working most of the day. So I've been doing more e-learning, and I'm currently editing this video, but I just realised that I hadn't filmed anything since Wednesday. So that's what happened yesterday. Now I'm just staying in my flat for a week. I'm not going to be going to work for a little while, and I'm just focusing on getting some studying done and resting, getting good sleep, eating good food, and making the most of this lockdown. Lockdown is, people complain that they're like, oh, I've got to stay at home. But really, if you don't have to go into work, it's a privilege, because the people that are going into work are putting their lives at risk, and they have basically no choice but to do that. So I'm doing my bit. I'm going to self-isolate for a week, even though I'm pretty sure I don't have COVID. I am doing this just to be extra cautious. Maybe I've got a very, very mild form. Who knows? We won't know until the antibodies test is released. So yeah, we shall see. But that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed this kind of week in the life. It's been very all over the place, but that's quite a good representation of life at the moment. Life is very up and down at the moment. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know if you want more videos like this, and please comment down below, like this video, subscribe, and yeah, take care, stay safe, stay home. Please, if you can stay at home, please stay at home. Don't go out in large groups, and wash your hands. Wash your hands so often. Okay, that's great. Take care, and I shall see you all soon.